Yeah. So I am here tonight. I've got a funny story. I'm only just here tonight, but we'll come on to that. If I'm looking a bit hot and sweaty, I'll tell you why. With the gorgeous, gorgeous Dani Henderson, and you will find Dani on her YouTube channel. I always need to get this right. Dani Henderson, spiritual therapist.
That's right. D-A-N-I, Dani, spiritual therapist.
I mean, obviously all the links are always below, but some people still always find problems finding the links in the comments box. So you're in gorgeous sunny Costa Rica. I'm in UK. I've just had to run back from a diverted dog walk. So it's like a comedy show. I've done my exercise for the day, that's for sure. So how are you doing, Dani? What's happening in your world?
Well, a lot going on. It's all fantastic. Hello, everybody. Catherine's going to interview me. I'm normally the one doing the interviews. This is really, really nice. Okay, so let's start with Costa Rica. Costa Rica is absolutely beautiful. It is a beautiful, beautiful country. And those of you that say, I could never live there, I can't do bugs, I can't do this, I was that girl. I was that girl. And it gets to a point where you wake up in the morning and you look at the pillow next to you, and there's a giant beetle just looking at you. Believe me, you're going to get over your bug, your idea of being frightened of everything pretty damn quick, really, really quick. You know, I was sitting doing a broadcast with a lovely mother, a friend of mine who lost her little girl. She lost her little girl last year to kidney failure, and she had a brain issue. And we were bringing a broadcast on grief and learning to deal with grief and this beautiful mother. And we're sitting and we're both crying our eyes out on the broadcast. And then when I watched it back, when it went out live, there's like a 4 or 5 foot iguana just walking past on the side. You know, any other time I would have been like, look at the iguana. But it was a moment of real emotion, and this kind of giant dragon goes by. But yeah, Costa Rica is fascinating. Right now, it's the hottest part of the year, March and April. And when I say hot, I mean, it is, I'm a Nordic, you know, I'm a Nordic, I'm a Highlander Scottish, and it's very interesting trying to work with the heat, but you know, and it's a new skill, Catherine. It is. You don't just say, oh, get on with it, stick on your air conditioning. It took me 8, 9, 10 weeks to wait for someone to come and do AC. Nothing is the same. You don't walk into a store here and say, excuse me, do you have a box of egg whites? They will slap you silly. They'll be like, what? Egg whites? What's that? And then when you explain, they'll be like, are you serious? People separate the yolk from the white. Are you for real? You know, we are so spoiled in other parts of the world, like we so are, you know. But you go into a store and it's all the dirty, filthy, beautiful, grubby vegetables and apples and papaya and mango, and they're selling stuff on the side of the street, and it's just so fantastic. It's so fantastic in so many ways. I love it. I just love it.
It's my idea of heaven. If I thought the animals would cope with the heat, I'd be there, but they wouldn't. The horses hate the heat. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and it's wonderful to experience this and see how things have done. I must admit, I didn't know you could buy anything like egg whites out of a box. That's well over my
Oh, well, see, that's because you're in Britain and I'm British like you, but I lived in America for years, and it is Spoilville. I mean, there are things that people do in America that they say only in America, right? Yeah, you can get a box full of egg whites where someone or something machine has separated all of the egg yolks and part of their diet. And it's when you put one egg and some egg whites, it's still protein, but it's lesser calories, because an obsession with counting calories or carbs or across the world.
Crap in my book, I'm afraid. An egg should come from a chicken, not a box.
Right, exactly. But you know, also talking about the horses and the dogs, I've never seen so many dogs in my life. Every breed here running down on the beach, and it is the most magical thing. They run around in packs, they've all got collars on, most of them belong to someone, some of them have been, you know, raised from a puppy by some kids who've come here to surf, and maybe they've stayed here 6 months, maybe 9 months, then they've buggered off back to their country and left the dog. That happens all the time. And I was watching a dog, I was out for my walk this morning, watching a dog. It's on its own, it's so happy, it's in the ocean, they jump the waves, they're rolling in the sand. You turn around, there's 10 horses, 10 different breeds of horse galloping down the beach. There's all people on the beach, we just get out of the way. It's like a sharing of space. It's absolutely beyond beautiful. beyond.
Oh, I want to see videos of that. I definitely want to see videos of that. It really does sound. Costa Rica's been really high. I've been to Belize with my husband. I absolutely had an amazing time in Belize, but we haven't been to Costa Rica, but we're planning on coming next year, because just everything about it appeals to me. So in terms of, obviously, you know, you've been in Costa Rica for how long now, Dani?
October 2020.
And what took you there? What was the move for? How did you end up in Costa Rica?
Well, when my fiance was alive, we had a plan that we were going to come here for 3 months and he was going to surf. And then unfortunately, he passed away very suddenly. And then when you go into that grief, the love of your life drops away from you in that moment. And the only thing I could think about was this plan we had together. And so I kept to it. And it's so funny because all these years on, months and a year and a bit on, I realized that I had an unconscious soul contract with my husband to be, which is beautiful. And that we would have agreed I would have been the one he fell with. And I then moved on here because that was our plan. And at first you get so angry and upset and you go through all these emotions when someone dies, and it's okay. Every single emotion comes up. Pain, agony, depression, suicidal thoughts, rage, how dare you leave me, all of these natural. And as a therapist who's trained in grief counseling, I also know this too. But it was beautiful to recognize that he and I did have a soul contract. And part of that was for me to come here, be in this beautiful house, go through my healing, which is ongoing, but way stronger now. So that's what brought me here. And then since I've been here, I've always been a spiritual, I've always been a teacher, a lecturer, a speaker, in different realms, and it's all kind of come together. And then now I have, you know, my own channel like you, and it's just such a beautiful way of sharing and exploring and like every facet. And I think that, like yesterday, I've been working with these children in Uganda in a slum called Kampala. And 3 years ago, I met this man, Ivan Wenji, on Facebook, and he's like, I would love to raise funds to buy the children musical instruments. And I'm a big supporter. Every child should be allowed to learn music. Every child, everywhere. In the countries, well, what do you mean there's no food there? That's right. A lot of them are starving too, but let's not deny them growth in the mind, music, art, dance, creativity, because that's also part of coming alive. Globally, every child should have access. So me and my friend Susie sent $90 each to this man, and I thought, look, let's just test him, see if he's going to buy the guitars. If not, we lose 180 bucks. He bought the guitars 2 days later. Then we had a party, raised more money, and sent him money to buy saxophone, piano, and more guitars, including left-hand guitars, which is important. Most people don't think about that, but there's right-handed and left-handed players. So we did that. And then on Saturday, yesterday, 2 days ago, I got on a Zoom and I filmed with all the children, some of them, not all of them, 10, 11 of them. And their ages like 7 to Edrin is 17. And oh God, it was so beautiful. And they played 3 songs for us, and they rehearsed, Catherine, they rehearsed to play for us on YouTube. And then Ivan, their teacher, walked around their village, which is a slum, and you see the filthy, dirty water, the drainage, it's full of mosquitoes, and just wanted to bring awareness to, like, look how lucky we are with these platforms that we have. And, you know, I personally, Dani Henderson, I feel like I have a responsibility, and I judge no one else, to use my beautiful, my small but mighty channel to reach as many people as possible. We know there are so many lying bastards, cheaters, motherfuckers that steal every penny from the charity, that the money never goes to the children. It never goes further than a government, if it even gets into that country. We know that. That's a pandemic too. But the money that I send to Ivan gets into the hands of Ivan and the children. So it's an opportunity for us to, you know, send money to support. Or people keep saying, Dani, what's my mission? They'll book me for a private session, a one-to-one session, or they'll send me emails. What is my mission? I'm lost. Now, number one, our mission is, Catherine, to love ourselves first. I don't care who you be, how rich you are, how well known, whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all going through the same stuff, all of us, all of us. So we get through that self-loving, self-caring, bringing yourself back into alignment with self, and then off you go. You want a mission? Get on a plane to Uganda, go dig a well, Go hire a water person to come with you, or a water expert there. There's so much we can do to help our brothers and our sisters around the world, because the leaders, the leadership, whatever they think they're called, the governments, they don't care about us. We are boots on the ground. Let's get our boots on the ground. You know, let's stop whining and moaning and saying, I don't know what to do with my life. There's so much we can all do, you know, but first of all, it does start with us.
It's such an important message. There's so many things that I want to go back to from what we've already covered today. First of all, I just want to really acknowledge how brave it is, having lost your fiance, who I know, oh, just what a terrible thing to go through, that you've still moved out there and carried out that mission. What an incredibly brave thing to do. And funny enough, not funny enough, but British expressions can be inappropriate. I was speaking to one of my friends, Sandy, this morning, and he was talking about he'd got on how he was on his current health mission through losing his mum. So he lost his mum at a very similar time to I lost my dad, and very similar time to when you lost your beloved fiance. And I've said all along, what we're going through globally is almost like a macro level grief cycle. And everyone's experiencing it on an individual level and on a collective level as well. Do you feel that, you know, because you've been through that at this time, that's one of the things that's really fired you up and to what you're bringing now to helping people across the globe?
I think most definitely there's part of me that already had training, and I've been a therapist for over 20 years. So I've worked with a lot of people who've gone through a lot of different kinds of grief, because for some people, even breaking up from a marriage after 30 years, you go through the same symptoms that you do if the physical person, you know, has died. And that's something important for those of us that judge others who are going through a breakup, and we're like, oh, come on, get over it. Yeah, okay. We all go through different elements and stages of grief, no matter what its guise. I think that, I mean, it's interesting to say, I mean, of course, I wouldn't swap a day without Jeff. I wish Jeff was here every single day. But I think it's definitely given me, because we are going through global grief, because people have died and people are dying and people will die from whatever. Over this period, we're all more engaged in thinking about grief, because we've been told that there's this something that's slaughtering the planet. And so there's a collective consciousness that wasn't there before. We weren't all thinking about, wow, if I get this thing that's been going around and wiping people's lives out, you know, is it going to take my life? So there's definitely a condensed consciousness about this. So I think that it definitely helps us to talk about it. And like when I suggest that, having gone through it, that when you do lose someone physically or, you know, relationship wise, that you've got to trust that, let yourself feel every single feeling, let yourself scream. And people say, don't speak ill of the dead. What a nonsense. Like some people who've passed away were complete shitheads.
Yeah.
And they don't deserve.
Yeah.
Right. And it's okay to say, what a shit that person was. Yes, they could be really nice and they were nice to kittens. Well, serial killers can be nice to kittens too. You know, I think we have to really park ourselves in a reality and start being completely honest with how we actually feel or think about people or certain situations and ourselves. We are in so much denial, Catherine. You know, oh, I would never do that. Oh, this and that. Oh, look what she said to me. There's a lot of finger pointing and attacking, and God knows you've been attacked. And I've been attacked. I can't even believe how dreadful and cruel and horrible and mean and spiteful people can be, you know, when we're just out there like giving love and spreading love. But for me, I'm just like one of those and one of those. On with you. On with you. God damn. Really, dude? That's all you got? It's funny to know the kind of people I interview when I'm interviewing somebody from secret space, anything to do with off planet, anything to do with our brothers and sisters and other humans in other land masses off planet. I find people get bitchier. When I'm talking about basic psychological, I'm talking about basic breathing techniques in and out of the body, ways to eliminate stress. I get less nasty people. But when I talk about a subject I'm very much entrenched in, I am part Pleiadian, I own it, I know exactly who I am, I know exactly who I'm in touch with off planet, I care not one shit, not one fart, if one person believes or doesn't believe, because that's got nothing to do with me. That's all about the person. That's their belief system. That's their ability to expand their mind. That's all about them. I'm fine with it. But, you know, it's about, I think at this time, all of us that are talking about whatever, we better be bringing truth. We'd better be owning it. We'd better not be elaborating, exaggerating, embellishing, attacking, harming, you know. Standing in our truth, I think, is one of the greatest gifts that we can give. And those of us like you and I who have these platforms, that we do have a duty to bring love, to bring kindness, to bring truth. And if people get rattled, that's all right. You know, how do we grow? Sometimes we need a little bit of a rattle, don't we? Did I answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, raising so many points. So I'm trying to scribble some notes down so I don't forget. And I think it's really important. And when we're talking like this, we are talking to ourselves. Dani and I, we're having a chat between friends on camera. We're choosing to share it with you. So when we're saying things, please don't think that we're saying that we're perfect in any way, because we're certainly not. And the way I like to look at it, Dani, is all of us in our interactions are just showing the other people, persons, animals where we were at. So when I'm interacting with you, my responses to you are not to do with you. They're showing you where I'm at today, right here, right now. Yes. And that could be completely different, knowing me, to where I was at this morning or where I might be at tonight, because I've just going through such quick waves of emotions. Like you, I've been a therapist doing all sorts of different things for over 20 years. And I think the speed with which I feel I'm personally learning at the moment, progressing, taking on board is really, even by my standards, it's really quick, you know. So slowing down is really important, and recognizing that when we're reacting, that's no one else's fault, that's us, and be gentle with ourselves, but also know when to say sorry, because you've hit on something really important there about sharing what's true for you, because that's all we can do. I mean, you've got belief systems, I've got belief systems, everyone watching this will have slightly different belief systems. So sharing where we're all at, but also being really, really honest and open. And if new knowledge comes in that changes us, but admitting that and moving forward.
That's a massive one. It's massive because let's say, for example, on the space and technology side, let's say that people have had such a hard time believing that there are other humans that live on other planets right next to ours in our solar system, but they've been brought up with the belief that no, we are the superior. I mean, seriously, I'd be very worried if we were the superior ones, looking at some behaviors on the planet and looking at the shoddy leadership. Good God, is that it? Is that all we have to aspire to? So once they are now, of course, now the regular news and media are now going, oh, by the way, UFOs are real. Unidentified flying objects and UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena or unidentified aerial vehicle. You know, they're trying to bring in this new lingo. Hey, dude, it's not a UFO anymore, man. It's UAV. You know, whatever, Trevor. You know, however it lands, it's landing. And then suddenly people are like, oh, okay, well, maybe because we're so evolved on our planet now, we're able to see other life forms from other planets. But what the Navy and the Air Force keep doing, which is so dull, guys, knock that shit off, will you? They keep showing us like the footage from a military craft, let's say a Harrier jump jet, you know, it's up there and there's something that's matching its speed and it's filming it and it's like 2 or 3 seconds or maybe a minute if we're lucky long. That's all old shit.
Yeah.
That's ancient stuff. And it's so insulting. That's the kind of thing that pisses me off. It's like, guys, stop treating the world like they are, you know, not able to conceive of. You know, the best person that I've ever met in my life that I have interviewed on my channel that has the best footage. Go outside every night on that man's land, on his ranch. It's called Eceti, E-C-E-T-I. James Gilliland from Eceti Ranch, ECETI. Go on my channel, go and have a look at the one-to-one interview where he tells his whole life story with me to all of us. That man has just years and years of motherships coming over Mount Adams, motherships, gigantic, massive ships blotting out the sky, scout ships, ships that are interacting with the people on the ground with their laser lights that they're shining at them, you know, massive ships that are not there and the next minute they're phasing in, phasing out. From 1 minute here, from the next second there, speeds that are uncountable on our planet with the technology that we've been told we have, which is another misdemeanor, because the Navy, the military, they have been reverse engineering technology as far back as, I mean, Tesla brought it in the 1900s, and then that idiot, evil twat, Hitler, was working with off-planet beings that gave technology, where he created an actual flying anti-gravity machine. Like, this is all old news, and it really annoys me when people suddenly think they've discovered something. It's old news. Old in the bad news. This is before you and I were born, before our mum and dad were born. What I'm talking about
is them, Dani, mightn't it?
100%.
Because the thing is, we can't all be experts on everything. So,
No.
for example, one of the things I think, you know, there's been so much talk over the last few years of do your own research. Yeah, but you don't. The whole point about, I bring this up, the whole point, this is just my point of view. The whole point is we're not all experts on everything. One of us will have, you've got a lot of knowledge in that area of which I have none. I've got loads of knowledge on lateral healing and using how nature heals and how we can all use that. We've all got different bits that really appeal to us. And also different experiences, because not everyone, I mean, it says it all that James has got that and is seeing all those things, but not everyone has had that experience.
Absolutely true. And forgive me if any of that, you know, sounded offensive or rude. It so isn't meant, guys. I just get very passionate.
No, it's not
you know,
that at all. It's just
okay,
that
good.
the only reason I raise that, it's like, you know, when I was speaking to Mark Atwood and Bryce, who two of our mutual friends who are amazing. And, you know, the thing is, we're all going through different experiences, aren't we? So some of us are going to know, like you do, about your off-world connections and have those off-world connections. Others might have a really strong connection with nature and animals, and others might have it with crystals, and others might have it with children and things, and they're all great. They're all great. I just don't want anyone to feel they're missing out if they haven't seen the motherships yet. Doesn't mean you're not special.
Exactly, and everyone is special, and 9 times out of 10 we've seen things, we've all seen things that we haven't even quite realized. And sometimes when we go back in our mind, we go, you know what, I think that may have been some kind of a craft, you know, but we're so told, oh, it's your imagination, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Did you know that the Andromedans, so there's so many different races, and so many of them call themselves humans like us, you know, they are blood and flesh like us. They just have much more advanced technology that we should have had in the 1900s, but it was kept from us. And that's Absolutely. One of the biggest things that really does, you know, bring my blood to boiling point, because we never would have ever had the suffering or the deaths or the terror or the poverty. You know, there never would be one cold person, one hungry person, or one homeless person. Like that mantra is indelibly inked on my heart and my mind. Not one cold, not one hungry, not one homeless on any country in the entire world, bar none. You know, we've had all of this, and now all the information is coming out. And, you know, some people it's scary, some people it's fascinating, some people are so ready for it. Some people lock into their brain program and they go, oh my God, Jesus didn't talk about that. I read in the Bible that we can't look at that. That's the devil. I can't go there. You know, and I feel so sorry. I was that person too, until they kept chopping up and jumping up and poking me and being, and they're like, Dani, we're real, we're real. I'm like, oh my God, you know. And it's time for us to really gently, lovingly say to our own beautiful minds, you know what, I'm allowed to stretch my mind. I'm allowed to look at other things outside of the Bible, outside of what Christianity told me, because we didn't come here to be in a cage of any kind. you know. And it's like, when we try and think about who is God, what is God, what is off planet, are there other, you'll notice for a lot of people, they can't go there. Their mind won't let them go there. They're not able to turn a corner in their mind because they're so programmed. Stay here, stay myopic, stay with your blinkers on. It's not safe. And I know for 1,000,000,000%, because I've been everywhere you can imagine, that it is safe. It is absolutely safe to stretch and imagine and use your imagination to bring the information. But it's time that we did honor ourselves, because people will watch this and listen and they'll say, you know, when I was a kid, I saw this. When I was a kid, my mum said, look out the window and look at that. Or these are the things that we want people to start remembering, opening up their cellular memory, because everything that's ever happened is recorded in the cells in our body. And now we're allowing ourselves to be more open. There's more light coming in. There's more light in us. There's more denseness of the evil, you know, things that were happening on the planet are lessening. We're all being freed up in our own light bodies. We're able to access more information that's been there this whole time. You know, it's a beautiful time of awakening and a bit scary.
I know, but only scary if you allow it to be scary. I mean, I don't find it scary at all. But then again, the thing I find fascinating about all these conversations is there's nothing you've said that I disagree with. But then anyone on the spiritual side, most people I know who talk to believes that we have chosen to be here at this time in these bodies. So if we've chosen that, we've chosen to come warts and all, if that makes sense. So, you know, this is the fascinating thing, is it's like this dance that we do with recognizing what's going on and realizing, if that's your belief, and I'm sure that won't be everyone's belief watching here, that you've chosen to be here. And I mean, we've all got such completely different characteristics. I love change. I've always loved change. And some people could see that as a good thing, and some people could see it as a bad thing, because some people say, well, if you're happy with what you've got, why do you love change? I'm really happy with what I've got, but I get excited very easily by things. I've still got that childlike excitement for, oh, and what next? What next? And other people really don't like change, and they find it really, really hard. And I think what's fascinating is we've got so much choice now. Well, certainly anyone who's got the facility on whatever tool it is to watch something on YouTube is in a stage in their life where they've got quite a lot of choice. Because if you've got a phone or a computer and you've got time to actually sit there and watch something, then we're pretty privileged, aren't we? And therefore, we're going to come to all these different things. I mean, when you said that we've all seen things, I would have sworn to you that I'd never seen a UFO. And then Mark Atwood put on his Telegram channel some of the pictures he's seen of those. And I was like, well, I've seen one of those. I didn't know it was a UFO. I didn't mind, and it doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I 100% have always believed that there's other beings there. I mean, I think my cat's one. You know, he literally appears and disappears like magic. So, but it is so true. We're all seeing things. I heard your interview, Dani. Was it? I can't remember how recently you did it, because I flicked through your channel with what resonates with at the time. And you did an interview with a really wonderful lady who'd been through a couple of near-death experiences. And she had that beautiful description. I can't remember her name.
Carrie Cohen. She's amazing. Everyone should subscribe to that lady's channel. Carrie with a C, Kohan. Carrie Cohen. Carrie Cohen. Yeah,
and what really struck me of your interview, I mean, loads of things struck me, but what she was saying is when she was talking about her experience of seeing Jesus in one of her experiences, she had named that artist, who again I wasn't familiar with, because I'm not religious at all. I believe in source and, you know, things, but I don't follow a particular religion. And she said, you know, my mind saw it like this when she was talking about the wise men and or however you pronounce it, the elders. And she said, well, yes, this is how my mind showed me, because that's how I identify. So we can all be seeing the same thing, but our mind shows it in what we can cope with. Does that make sense?
That makes 100% sense. It really, truly does. And, you know, there's a saying as well that we, you know, there was a story that's gone around and it's parroted, because every single thing we hear, we parrot. And we've got to remember that everything we're listening to, we'll say, like, I'll be on a broadcast and I'll be on a different subject, and then people are commenting and they're saying things they've heard off other broadcasts or other people, which is fine. But I wish they would recognize they're just repeating what they've heard. Have they thought about it? Have they really embodied this? Have they put other thoughts together from other people and come to make their own thinking, which is what we're all invited to do. But one of the things that years ago, there was a story that there were these islanders and they'd never seen white people, and they'd never seen the kind of boats that the white people built, you know, the huge sailing ships, and all these boats were out on the ocean, but the islanders never, oh my God, a giant buzzard just flew just into the forest. Oh my gosh. Sorry. The islanders apparently did not see these boats out on the ocean. And when the second I'm reading that, I'm like, that's not true. I don't believe it. And guess what? I'm allowed to say that. And I'm allowed to think that. I'm not criticizing. I'm just like, when I look at my own life, from even before I could speak, I'm sitting in my crib and I'm fully aware of being taken lovingly to another place and then coming and being put gently back into my crib. And there was no one and nothing. I didn't have language. It wasn't explained to me. And then growing up, seeing beings in my bedroom. I'd not seen a picture book about ghosts and spirits. They were just there, but my mind registered them. You know, so that's where I was drawing my mental reference from. Like when I read people, what do you mean? Or it took the chief to tell them. Now, maybe for some people that would, but I find that hard to myself personally. And I don't need it explained to me. I'm just sharing my own thoughts so that maybe someone else will go, do you know what? I thought the same thing, or I think the same thing. Sometimes we need to hear someone owning their own thoughts to be able to give ourselves permission. That's kind of sad, but sometimes that's how we also create growth in ourselves, Catherine.
That's why I love these conversations. And that's why when you and I chat to people, we let them go wherever we need them to go, because my channel is about having these conversations out loud, and you know that some of it will resonate with certain people and some won't, and it's just talking it through, because that's how we learn and evolve. I mean, years ago when I used to be part of a book club, I found it absolutely brilliant because, you know, 10 of us could all read the same book. And when we were describing it, you'd never think it was the same book because we'd all been drawn to completely different things. And it was just absolutely fascinating. And, you know, even people that you think have got a similar outlook on life to you, you'll read the same book and you'll all recite different things. And you can see why witness statements are so unreliable now, because you can all watch. I mean, I can watch the same football match and pick out something completely different. Normally, which man's got the nicest bottom? Not who, but you know, if our family are sitting there, they're soccer mad, our family, because my daughter plays and that. You know, we'll all watch the main match and we'll pick out different things. They'll be picking out, you know, my daughter's midfielder might be thinking who's skillful in that position. I'll be thinking he's got nice legs. My husband will be, I assume my husband's not thinking he's got nice legs, but you know, we see what's of interest to us at that particular time. And then other people have pointed things out to me and I'm like, oh my God, I'd never thought of that, seen it, heard it. You know, when I'm listening to songs, I'm really drawn to the lyrics more than the music. Was my husband, it's all about the music. And yet that's weird because I wear hearing aids and I'm quite deaf. So I quite often struggle to hear the lyrics. Isn't it weird how we all we're all seeing the world through our own unique experience, but conversations like this open up things. I mean, look at where none of us would be watching channels like yours and mine. Everyone who's watching this is someone who's done a hell of a lot of self-development and self-inquiry over the last 2 years, because we're all talking about things now. We won't mention too many of them now because we're both on strike, but on our channels. But you know, which 5 years ago we'd probably never have been having half those conversations with people. And now the level of awareness for people that are in our community is completely different to where it was 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, it's interesting how there are so many blessings in this time. And of course, you know, because we're treated like imbeciles and babies, we can't even say the word. Sounds like bovid. I call them bovid blessings. But, you know, when I was on television in England and I was on a spiritual channel that was live, I was having these conversations in 2008, 9, and 10. And I thought Britain was really quite advanced in her, you know, being open to paranormal, to psychic abilities, natural. I mean, the word psychic is the Greek word for soul. That's what the word psychic means. And we all have a soul. Well, most of us have souls. Some have sold them. And we know who they are. They're the non-leadership at the top. They are the most famous celebrities. Some, not all, of course. We have to be very careful not to cast aspersions and not cast everyone into the same cauldron, as it were, of evil. But we certainly are a lot more aware than we ever been. But I was having these conversations. I mean, I was so trusted on my channel that I would be doing 9 live hours a week on actual terrestrial television on Sky in England, and I would just choose a subject and I would sit to camera, like real cameras in a real television studio, and just talk and teach and share, and everything I ever knew to share, you know. So we've been having these conversations a long time. And then sometimes, so you'd have one person on camera, you need to have 2 people in the telephone booths, and the public could call up. And then when you came off camera after your hour, you'd go in the booth and somebody could call you and you'd have a private conversation. And sometimes we do a 3-way conversation. So I'd be on camera, maybe Leslie Eddy would be in one corner, maybe Claire Riccio would be in the other. And we just have these remarkable conversations about, remember Leslie Eddy one time talking about seeing a person come floating out of their window into a craft, things that seem so ludicrous. But we see them on films and movies. How are they so ludicrous when they've already been imagined or thought in someone's mind? Where did that image come from? Did it come from their own experience? You know, we have to remember as well that everything in the movies, you know, in books, especially in recent times, is all because it's been seen or known. And this is how we gift disclosure in all its guises. And we start to you know, allow people to recognize and understand that they are so valuable, they are so worthy. Their memories, their thoughts, their dreams, their imaginations are vital to their own growth of their own soul. I mean, it's just incredible.
It is. And I can't remember who I heard say it, but that in some Native American languages, there's no such word as imagination, because imagination is real. Are you just about to get eaten by a lizard?
I am going to do something like, it's too beautiful. It's just too beautiful. I'm going to see if I can take you guys outside.
I'm just going to, whilst Dani's doing that, I'm going to tell people, Dani keeps saying to me, I'm obsessed with monkeys, and Dani's got the most amazing troop of howler monkeys by her. So she frequently sends me voice messages. They are just stunning. Where you live is just absolutely stunning.
It is. So
we go.
Look, can you see them? Can you see the buzzards? Tell me if you can see them.
No. Oh, now how can I point out to my listeners? Down on that branch, just from the corner. But
can you see up there in the sky? You see it flying?
Not really clear enough.
Oh man.
Oh yes, now I did. I've just seen it gone across the top of the screen. Yes, amazing. Right.
Can you
We've
see
got
them?
Loads of those around here, actually, Dani.
Can you see them in the trees?
Yeah, I would say they're beautiful unless you're a bunny. Then you don't want to be seeing them. But don't put your bunny outfit on later. You might be in trouble.
Oh my God.
Stunning.
Yeah, stunning. And then, as you know, I'm often
the monkeys that Dani has visiting. Oh my goodness. Absolutely amazing.
It is. Oh look, they're everywhere. That's because a monkey died. I know a monkey died, and so they've come to get it. But that's nature, and that's the jungle.
Yeah.
So while we're out here, I'll just show. These are the rocks the house is built on. These are the top. This is the very top of the mountain.
Wow.
It's so enchanted. And so the house is glass, and so all the crystalline energy in the rocks, you know, also they amplify the energy in this house, you know, because it's all glass walls.
Just stunning.
Yeah,
every time I see you on your video with your backdrop, I mean, it's lovely in the woods here, but yeah, I wish I was some with monkeys. I was definitely designed to be with monkeys.
But you know, when I've sent you the where the monkeys come, they're the howler monkeys, and they're so loud. As you know, I've sent you video of them, and one of them, he's a male. I call him Billy, and they've got these white hanging testicles. It is the most peculiar thing to see when you look up in a tree and there's just these dingly danglers. But they are so loud. And I call this one beautiful male Billy, and I go, hey, Billy, 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 Billy. And I'm sure Billy's thinking, oh God, there's that stupid woman, that gringo. Like, why did she just shut up? You know, just shut up.
Oh, it's so funny.
I know.
They definitely have a laugh at us, but they like it, really. They do like it. So
yeah, it's great.
So, I mean, this is so fascinating. One of the things, you know, I did want to ask you about today, and I always completely lose track of time. I think for people going through everything at the moment, people are going through an awful lot. And we say that, I'm not going to use the word it's hard, because I don't believe it is. You can make it as hard as you like. But you have learned over your years of experience some really good things that work for you in terms of, you know, whether you want to call it your miracle morning. What are some of your top tips for people that keep you on tip-top form?
Well, you know, I think the one single thing that will get a person on track or out of bed is to have some kind of a plan. And like, even if that plan is tomorrow, you're going to put on a certain outfit, you're going to, like me, you're going to throw your headbands around your neck and throw your jewelry on, and you're going to do something to make yourself feel good. You know, we need a plan, some kind of a plan, but it doesn't have to be a mission. It doesn't have to be something that's too big for us, because there are so many people stuck in depression, stuck in loathing, stuck in hatred, stuck in fear, and they truly are. And they do deserve our compassion. You do deserve compassion. But so do I, and so does Catherine, on the days that we feel the same way too. But it's all right to feel these feelings. It's just not okay to unpack your bags there and stay there. Do not move in there and stay there. That's not a state of being. That is a state of misery that none of us deserve to be in. There's enough bloody misery on the entire planet. So having a plan, having a reason to do something the next day or later that day, go for a walk. And if you can't go out for a walk, walk on the spot. If you can't physically stand up because you're too weak, maybe you can sit in the chair and you twist your hands and wrists around, and maybe you can twist your feet and ankles around at the same time, and maybe you can count to 10. And as you're doing this, you're going to notice that you're going to start to stretch a bit, and maybe your cardiovascular system will start to work a little bit more. Like, we do whatever it takes to do something small each day. We don't need overwhelm. We don't need goals we can't hit. Something small. And I've met so many people, especially the last 2.5 years, who are so completely shut down, locked down, depressed, but just having something to think about, to look forward to. But the more that we put that on someone else, oh, my daughter's going to come and pick me up, or my son's going to come and visit, oh, my friend's going to take me down to the local church for a church service, and then that person doesn't make it for some reason, then what does that depressed person do? They go lower down, or they don't care about me, they don't love me. We've got to stop having these terrible thoughts and feelings and conversations, and because we're doing a lot of this self-harm to ourselves.
Yeah.
Back to your question, I hope you can hear me. My microphone keeps dropping out.
Yeah, no, I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Lucky you're loud like me.
Yeah, lucky I've got a big gob. And I don't mind sharing it. One of the most important things for me, every time I've had success, what I call success in my life, let's say in business, that's one way of measuring success, is I have always been at my fittest, meaning I have watched what I'm eating, I have watched what I'm putting into my body, and I have battled with weight on and off over the years. And when I am stressed, I am an eater. I will stuff my cake hole. I will eat and eat and eat. And as I did this year, and gained like 30 pounds easily. You know, some people get stressed and they can't eat. I'm the opposite. I'm a comfort soother, and a lot of people are. And a lot of people in this situation that we've all found ourselves in have done the same. They've gained a ton of weight. They don't like themselves. Their clothes don't fit. You know, you don't have to go to the gym. What you can do if you choose to is put something on television, or watch a documentary, or watch a conversation like this, and walk on the spot. Walk on the spot the whole time it's on. Take your mind off what you're doing. Focus on the conversation, so you're feeding your mind. But let's get your body going. Let's get you into some kind of fitness, some kind of, and oh my God, the habit is so beautiful. Growing that habit is easy. It's like stand up, sit down, like if you're in your bedroom, like don't quite put your butt on the bed, almost get there, stand up. Your legs, your thighs, that is a great way of getting your cardiovascular going. So little teeny tiny things like that. For me, overall, watching what I'm eating, having a plan for business, for work, which is what I have done many times, getting excited about it, eliminating issues, eliminating negative people, always listening to advice, because I learned the hard way at 17. If you don't listen to advice, you could end up in a really bad situation, which I was. So I learned a very hard lesson at 17. So I always listen. And even if I don't agree with you, I'm going to listen to you. And then I'm going to take what resonates energetically in my chest, my heart. And then if I still make a mistake, I'm going to own that mistake, because I ultimately, Dani, made that decision to do that thing, to think that thing, to take that action. But yeah, watching what I'm eating, exercising, walking on the spot, whatever, and having a plan have always garnered me the most success. Getting some sleep, you know, on and off over the years. Man, do I like a drink and a cigarette. Since 11 years old. We start young in Britain.
We do.
We do. And packet of fags, 10 JPS, 10 B&H, you know, whatever it was. And so that's something that over the years I have to watch, because every now and again I'll go, oh my God, I've had 3 bottles of wine this week and it's only Wednesday. You know, that has been easy to do. Yeah. Am I an alcoholic? No. Do I sometimes binge? Yes. Is it brave to admit that? Yes. Do I care about what you think about me? No. You know, it's okay. We got to recognize these habits. People say, I've tried everything. No, Mrs., you haven't. Okay? You haven't tried everything. You might start it, but you didn't see it through, just like I haven't at times. You know, and again, we got to start being really honest with ourselves, not unkind, not cruel, not beating ourselves up. I say to myself, oh, come on, you silly cow. You didn't lose any weight last week because you had cake 3 days in a row. I'm like, oh shit, I did. You didn't walk, you know, cake will do it. You know what I mean? So again, in answer to your question, where do I see success? In being honest and in making these little plans and in taking little steps that become bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, such good advice. And I recognize myself so much. That's such good advice. And as you see, Dani and I, we do not take life too seriously. Yes, there's lots of serious things going on, but you have to be able to have a laugh along with it. And, you know, how boring would it be if any of us were perfect? You know, you're not aiming for perfection, folks. It's just be gentle on yourself, but honest. I think that's really, really important. You know, you've got to want to make the change, and you've got to take ownership for it, haven't you? And if it's important enough to you, you will. Trust me, you will.
You know, Catherine, one of the things I can say about perfect is there's actually no such thing.
Exactly.
Perfect does not exist. How could it possibly exist when every single person from every single nation has a different idea of what perfect is? What we've been forced to believe is that you blue-eyed blonde, skinny. What a nonsense. What an absolute nonsense, right? No, there is in every single tribe and every single culture, country, city on the planet, different color, different heights, different sizes. I mean, you look at tribes in Africa and some of the things the women do to themselves to elongate their necks or to stretch out their lips or to, you know, stretch the lobes of their ears, which to me, you know, I wouldn't personally find that attractive or sexual or sexy, but to some they're like, whoa, you know, hubba hubba. That's such a silly hubba hubba. What does that mean? Hubba hubba.
No, but we all know what it means. We
right.
But we know what it brings up feeling wise in us.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, some people think that, you know, this. And I did this. I made a little, listen, if you guys want to giggle, go on my channel. Not only will you see a beautiful photograph of my beloved with me, but I think that broadcast is called If You Think You Need to Change Your Face, because I made the mistake of trying to pump my lips, okay? And it was terrible. Hang on.
That's quite a good impression.
It was really bad. And oh my God, and then you can't drink your tea. You can't drink.
Does it dribble? Does it
yes,
out? Oh,
yes,
no.
It comes out your mouth because you can't feel anything. Your nerve endings have like gone somewhere else. You've got all this plump, you know, you look ridiculous, or I did. And a woman got upset with me one time, making fun of, but love, I can because I did it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole like come to Jesus on my channel where I don't care. Like it's, yeah, because we don't know what we don't know till we know it.
Exactly.
You know, and so with these big old lips on me, and then the woman did some Botox to get rid of the wrinkles, and it was even worse. It was even worse. I looked like a duck-billed platypus. Honestly, it was so terrible.
I like duck-billed platypuses, in fairness. Yeah. I find them quite good looking, yeah.
Oh, yeah. But, or even people that think that enhancing their beauty, they want big fake knockers, massive
exactly.
jugs.
And anyone who has big fake knockers, it's not easy. Honestly, God, it's not easy. The best thing, I can beat that, because one of my friends, lovely friend, actually said to me, and she was being kind, but I'm not sure I took it as that, who said, oh, you know, next time I go for my Botox, if I could take you along for as well. And I was like, fuck off.
How rude.
No, she wasn't being rude. To her, she was being really kind. And I was wetting myself laughing because I was like, well, I don't think I need Botox. Not that I don't, but you know, it was quite funny. So the only worst thing than trying it yourself was having one of your really good friends suggest that you try it.
Right. Right.
Oh,
and it hurts so bad. Oh my God. So that's why I have bangs, you know, because I mean, I like the movement in my face.
Yeah, I call them afterlines, not
yeah. What's wrong with it? You know, what's you know, I've done all that, you know, and then you know, it's like people are like on the news are like, oh my God, I'm so crying right now. Or oh my God, I'm so laughing right now, because the face is frozen. And again, I've done it so I can make fun of it to the ladies that get offended.
We are not politically correct channels, and we will make some fun of ourselves. I mean, I spent my whole childhood being called Mick Jagger lips and bulbous bottom by my sisters, and now if you wait long enough, anyone, it will come back in fashion, because now I'm quite pleased because bulbous bottoms and big lips are in fashion. I just have to wait 50 years for it. So yeah, you just wait, guys. If anything long enough comes in fashion. Now I could talk to you all night, but I know we're both busy. I cannot let you go without you giving people a teaser. I know you're going to be talking about this a lot more over the next few weeks, but Dani, I want you to give people a teaser about your amazing conference you're arranging. Tell us what it is, when it's going to be, and give us a few little bits to get excited.
Okay, well, what I can say with absolute authority and absolute truth, there has never ever been a gathering of people like this ever. Certainly because one or two of the speakers have never spoken in public before. So the conference, or the connect, it's called the Galactic and Spiritual Informers Connection. It is October 21, 22 and 23 of this year, 2022. And you can expect to see, for the first time ever, Elena Danan coming out onto a public forum and speaking and sharing in person. Dr. Michael Salla, who is the world authority on exopolitics, coming out, and he hasn't been out on stage since 2019. Other people like Vivian Chavot, who is an Arcturian hybrid. She is half human, she is half Arcturian. She'll be coming out onto a public stage. Now, Vivian is out on the circuit as we speak. And everyone I'm going to mention, I have interviewed on my channel already. People like Tony Rodriguez. When he was a 10-year-old little boy, he was abducted. He was abducted into a military program on this planet. It's called the Secret Space Program. Not so secret because now everyone's talking about it. Tony Rodriguez was sold into a satanic family, of which there are thousands and thousands on this planet. He will also be coming in to speak, and I'll be doing more interviews up to the conference. Brad Olson has been down to explore Antarctica. This man has written many books. One is called Escaping Prison Planet. The truths, the realities, the connections to the Nazi war timeline are revealed by this man, Brad Olson. Lowell Johnson. Lowell Johnson is one of the human beings who's physically been inside Mount Shasta and been into the city of Inner Earth, one of the Inner Earth cities called Telos, T-E-L-O-S. He will be there. My beautiful French secret soldier, Jean-Charles Moyen, who I'm also interviewing for a second time today. He was taken as a young man. He was put into a French military secret space program. He has been to Mars, to Jupiter, to the moon, and all of these people stand strong. They all have absolute concrete proof of all of their experiences, and they're all coming together. I'm also bringing indigenous. I'm also bringing people like the great Mayan shaman, globally famous Spanish-speaking shaman, Quetzal Ra. He is coming to stand on stage at this event and give us and take us into ceremony. Now, my friend Asha is going to be his translator. She will also be sharing her knowledge of a very hidden Mayan yoga. So I am bringing the galactics and the spiritual indigenous together in one place to my event. And there are so many more speakers, but that's enough for now.
Oh, that's an amazing taster. So when people want to find out about that, they can go to your YouTube channel. The link will be below, and then that will have the link to how people can get tickets and find out more, won't it?
Yes, we're launching the website this week. Okay. Yeah, which I mean, I know I mentioned that to you and you said, let's give people a teaser. So we're teasing you. Tickets are $369 for the most incredible speakers over 3 days. 369 is Nikola Tesla's number. His favorite numbers and his number diagram, if you will, for the entire universe. This is all very deliberate, all very beautifully planned and thought through, and we'll be launching this week. Absolutely.
It's so exciting. So everyone, you will hear a lot more about that on Dani's channel, and I will be bringing Dani back on again, I hope, to talk more about it. But I just wanted everyone to let them know, because people are starting to make plans now at long last. So I just wanted to get that date out there to our listeners, just to say, look, you know, if you're thinking of a trip, just put those dates in your diary, and over the next week you're going to find out a lot more. So exciting, amazing that you're doing that. What a fantastic collection of energy you're going to be bringing together to that. Is absolutely incredible, Dani. Oh yeah, so exciting.
I know. And hopefully you'll be there as a vendor. You know, you'll be there with your programs and with the audience. And I just want everyone to meet everyone. So most of the people on the platform, we're all going to be together, guys. So come and meet us. Come and meet everyone.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dani. Honestly, I could go on all night with you. But hopefully we will get together on each other's channels again soon. Is there anything else you want to leave anyone with before we sign off?
I just want to leave everyone with my love, honestly, my sincere love. I'm so proud of you and the growth that you've had to make this year. I'm so proud of the conscious growth that you're making. And please just know and remember and realize that you are valuable, you are worthy, and you are loved. You are so loved. And that's what I'd love to leave with your beautiful audience.
Perfect way to finish. Thank you so much for anyone who's taken the time to join in this fun conversation with us, because we really do appreciate it. You know, all of our collective energy is moving it forward. Let us know in the comments below your thoughts, your suggestions for next time. And thanks so much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Take care, guys. Bye. Mwah.